today's video, we will learn about some of the key elements that must be included in a first-class essay introduction. Law students are often given little guidance when it comes to essay writing. If you are a law student who often struggles with starting an essay, or if you are trying to improve the quality of your essays, then keep on watching. Throughout your law degree, you will write several essays. Introduction is the key part of an essay, as it outlines the topic and gives a glimpse to the reader of what to expect in the main body of the essay. It is the first paragraph that your professor will read. Professors can tell the grade an essay will get by just reading the introduction. So, it is absolutely essential to start the essay with a strong and focused introduction. Let's look at the key elements that an introduction must have. You must state the position you're going to take. This is a very important element as it makes the reader aware of what your main argument is going to be. You also need to introduce the key scholars and key arguments in the literature. This will show the reader that the question is debatable. Thirdly, you must briefly discuss the structure of your essay. This will help the reader in understanding what you are intending to explore. And lastly, you should briefly support your conclusion with a strong point. This will set the tone for your essay, and the position you intend to take will sound a lot more convincing. Try remembering the color for each element. Shortly, we will look at two sample introductions and highlight sentences where the writer has successfully displayed these elements. This is the question that we are going to explore today. Has the expansive definition of what counts as indirect effect compensated for the no horizontal direct effect rule for directives? And here's the first example. So now I'm going to ask you to pause the video, read through the example, and spot the elements we discussed earlier. Alright, I hope you managed to have a read through and were able to highlight certain sentences that showed the elements of a first-class introduction. Now here's what I spotted. This was not a great introduction. You can see the first two paragraphs are very descriptive. You should definitely avoid describing the key terms and focus on using the word count more efficiently. The introduction has somewhat hit the two elements. The writer has stated the position they intend to take. The introduction also maps out the structure of the essay. But the other two elements are entirely missing. The writer fails to support their conclusion with a strong argument, and there is no mention of key scholars and key arguments surrounding the topic. This generally makes the introduction weak, and it fails to convince the reader about why indirect effect cannot be seen as compensating the no horizontal direct effect rule. Now, let's do the same for example 2. Pause the video, read through the example, and try spotting the key elements. I have highlighted the sentences here. It shows that this introduction has hit all of the elements we discussed earlier. This is an example of first-class essay introduction. The writer has clearly stated the position they intend to prove in their essay. They have introduced the key debates and scholars. The introduction clearly highlights the structure of the essay. The writer has also very cleverly sprinkled around information to support their conclusion throughout. This introduction has the potential to convince the professor that indirect effect cannot be seen as compensating the no horizontal effect rule for directives due to the uncertainty it has introduced. Just before ending the video, I am going to share some tips that can help you in writing an impressive introduction. Firstly, I would advise you to write your introduction after you have a clear idea of what you will include in the main body of the essay. It is very likely that you will waste time if you decide to write the introduction at the beginning, as you would not have a clear vision of where your essay will be heading. Secondly, try narrowing down your conclusion to a particular concept. Now, I understand this cannot be possible for every topic, but for an essay topic we just looked at, it is very much possible. Narrowing down the scope will make your essay look extremely focused. Thirdly, you must pay attention in lessons. Take a note of the scholars your professor mentions the most and make sure you include them in the introduction. This will again boost your chances of scoring a high mark in your essay. And lastly, try mentioning a recent topic or issue in your introduction. This will make your essay stand out and will show the professor that you have an in-depth understanding of the topic. And yeah, that's all from my side today. Hope you found this video helpful and I will be back again with another video.